Hey, do you ever get stuck and just feel like what you're trying to do just feels like this like slog, and your brain like just goes blank, and like maybe you sit down and record a video or something and you're just like nothing is coming to mind, and it feels like a struggle? In this video, I'm going to show you how to overcome that and how to proceed anyway so that you can get the work done that you really want to be doing, even if you feel stuck. And you're going to be able to do this without having to completely shift gears and do something else that isn't the thing that you're wanting to do. All right, let's do it. What is up, y'all? My name is Chris Creed. Welcome to the Wake Up, Get Better podcast. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to actually do the thing that you want to do instead of having to abandon ship. Let me just give you an example here, okay? Like, I just sit down to record this video, and I have been flowing on different things today, and that's kind of my style of work. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to work on this. Maybe I will take a bike ride for like 10 minutes and come back and get into another project. And for whatever reason, this video was one of the things on my list today, but it was just feeling, I just didn't have anything. I didn't have anything that was like ready to come out, right? And maybe you felt this way before, especially with creating content. Sometimes it just feels like the muse isn't there, right? But the problem with that is like, as creatives, as entrepreneurs, as people who are showing up and creating stuff and helping people every day, we don't really have a choice to just not, right? To just like abandon ship and not show up for the people, right? So that's not an option. It wasn't an option for me today. And I was just about to walk away. I was just about to walk away and do something else. And then I remembered something. I remembered that I have access to a main line of creativity at any moment. And I actually recorded a whole course about this. It's called Infinitely Creative. I'll put the notes down, a link down here in the show notes if you want to check it out. But it's true. Sometimes, like, I actually used to think that creativity was just something that like came to you, like at a moment's notice, and it would just like show up, and then you would have it, and then sometimes you wouldn't have it, and we were constantly chasing this muse, right? So there's this famous quote, I think it's attributed to William Faulkner. And what he said was, or what he's proposed to said was, I only write when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 a.m. I remembered that quote, and I remembered it just as I was about to step up and go do something else. I remembered that I have the ability to switch back in and activate my creativity at any moment. So how do you do this, Chris? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 steps, okay? Number 1 is that to realize that like you said you wanted to do this today. This is something I wanted to get done today. Okay, Chris, I don't feel like it though. I don't feel like it. I don't have the inspiration. Cool. That's cool. But step 1 is to admit and recommit to the fact that you said you wanted to do this thing today, that this is the thing that's on the list and it's getting done. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is that after we recommit, we're going to decide to go find inspiration. That might be just like looking around for like inspiring quotes like that one I just said there, or it might be reading for 5 minutes, or it might be tapping and doing a clearing on yourself. If you want more info on that, I'll put the link in the show notes here for a creative clearing that you can do at any time. Or if you want to join my group, I do a free creative clearing session in there every week. You can go to chriscreed.com/flow to join that. Whatever it is, you simply take the action and decide to go find inspiration. We're going to go hunt for it. Okay. So that's thing number 2. And then thing number 3 is that I'm going to come back. I'm going to turn my camera on, or whatever the task is. Maybe it was writing. Maybe like, I was going to write 1,000 words today, but I just don't have it in me. Nothing is flowing out. It doesn't matter. I'm going to sit down at this computer and I'm going to write some random shit until good stuff comes out. And that's what we're going to do. And that's exactly what I did right now in real time with this video. Is I sat down and I just started talking, and it all just sounded like crazy stuff that it didn't even make sense, and I couldn't even like get things flowing right. I feel like I was out of practice. But at some point it started getting meta, and I started thinking about this, and I started, this is actually kind of a valuable framework of what I just did there. So step 1 is to recommit to the action you were going to do. Step 2 is to go find inspiration. We're going to do that by reading or tapping or meditating or breathing or something to bring ourselves back into this present moment so that we're not worried about everything else. So that's step number 2. And then step number 3 is we're going to sit down and we're going to take the actions on what we said we were going to do today, right? And that is not the most difficult part. The most difficult part is deciding on the front end that I'm going to recommit, right? But you just sit down and start making really crappy art until it starts to get better. And then that can become the thing that you said you were going to do today. So this could be used for anything, literally anything. Going to the gym, eating better, creating content, writing a book, anything. You can use this framework for anything. So when I talk about creativity in my course and just in general in my content, in my newsletters and things, I talk about it as a practice that we can practice, right? And so ideally, we would want to be taking care of ourselves in such a way that we're constantly fueled, right? But sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes it's not going to happen. So this is kind of like an emergency toolkit for when things get stuck. So what we do is we recommit, we find inspiration, and then we act. And if you do those things and you consistently and you actually make it happen, you will get the thing done that you wanted to do, right? It is not like while I don't agree with the just like, no, you just got to like take massive action, man. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I am saying that taking action without first clearing or doing something that is going to align yourself with your creative vision, like meditating, reading, something that's going to bring you back into the present moment. If we don't do that, taking action is almost useless, right? We need to do the other pieces first. Recommit, find inspiration, and then act. And when I say find this, when that second piece, that find inspiration piece, I don't want you to get stuck there. I don't want you to spend 5 hours on that piece. We're not doing that. Set a timer for 5-10 minutes and just fuel yourself, right? And get yourself back here, and then act. Okay. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. I love y'all. This has been the Wake Up, Get Better podcast. My name is Chris Creed. And hey, if you're a creative or an owner and you want to experience more flow and focus, and you want to kind of get on the front end of things like this so that it doesn't happen as often, so you don't feel as stuck as often, I would love for you to join my group, Flow and Focus. You can go to chriscreed.com/flow and join for free there. All right. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.
There's nothing to get you, can always turn it around.